Alright. It's here. And I still don't feel like anything's really changed. Probably because it's the third separate time I've said it's here. The final episode of Universe Zero. With one really lame track, one decent track, and, well, this is the decent track, and one usually pretty interesting track. So let's get the boring one out of the way so we can get to the two big ones, shall we? Of course, as I've said before, and I will probably bring this up in the retrospective too, that I am not done with the series, but it'll mostly be relegated to one-offs, which aren't terrible. By one-offs, I mean like probably 4 race championships. 3 or 4. Maybe 6 at most, and then 2 episodes that way. And it'll be just random stuff, like specific cars, maybe, and they'll have different paint schemes, or maybe more class racing, but I doubt it, because that was kind of complicated to do that. Took many extra steps. Ow. And then let's look at the starting grid. You can see Buttercup's already gotten the short end. Byrne starts third, but his other 2 opponents that he must deal with are right next to him, and Alex is, for all intents and purposes, out of the championship basically already. May as well not even start this race, because he's not really under threat points-wise by Sonic either. And, yeah, definitely not from where he's starting in 12th either. Headlights. No headlights. Headlights. No headlights. Headlights. How about with the grip accident? Let's see how they start. Bubbles a little cavalier there. Alright. Are you really gonna stick that? If you do, that is a power play. Blossom's actually getting overrun by Shadow and his supreme handling. Bert looks to do the same thing. Doesn't finish it, but gets pretty close to doing so. Shadow on a funky line, so Blossom will reclaim that position of 5th. Byrne having struggles with number 1 of all people, and the worst car here. And Bubbles is checking out. Can Blossom... Can Blossom seize this moment of Byrne being stuck on the Lotus, gain the run out of the final turn, and claim both places? Maybe Daniel might interfere with that. Who really knows? I can't say for sure until it happens. No, number 1 will actually block off Blossom instead, and therefore make that pass uncompletable. And, yeah, now Byrne is effectively in 3rd. I don't think number 1 could do anything about that. Buttercup is actually in last. She's gone nowhere. Fought Alex the whole race. Byrne will now go for 2nd. Blossom not too far away. If this goes awry somehow, Blossom is in striking distance, but given the deficit in both talent and vehicle here, I doubt, yeah, I don't think I could even fathom a situation where it didn't go right for Byrne. I have been damaged. I do not know who has done so. Sonic has very much been damaged. Unless Buttercup starts really making big maneuvers, I think this effectively puts her out of the championship. Because, yeah, this would put her, like... she was already 12 points away. Byrne will score another 12, so it'll be a 24-point difference, and max 30 points from the remaining 2 races after this. So, yeah, unless Byrne doesn't finish better than 8th in either race, that is the end of Buttercup's chances at number 3. But still, for winning multiple is in itself a big maneuver, because Alex is the only other character besides So Fast that I can think of off the top of my head that has done so. It is a hefty gap between even Bubbles and Byrne, let alone anyone else. And he's really going to contest that. Buddy, you don't have the sauce. Buttercup is making moves, so now she's gaining a point. How many more can she nab? I don't think too terribly many. At most, she can probably aim for 8th. She just outdrags me or XD3 down the front straightaway. Or pull off something daring into one of these not passing zones and move XD3 down a place and then just yoink my place down the straightaway. About the only way she can get to 8th. Otherwise, she might not even get past 9th. Or even get out of 10th for that matter. And which is this neat little organized train of... Yeah, there's a reason why I'm not gonna miss this track. It's not wide enough, or even close to it, to work for close AI fights. Also, can't make out Byrne in the distance, but it's not very clearly. Buttercup does do the precise things I said she could do. Turn over 2 positions with actually 3, and then dive me into the turn for 8th. Well, that's not how you keep it, though, Buttercup. That is not how you keep it very well. Danny, very loose there. Number 1, we'll hold on for 6th place, it looks like. Unless Bert has just all of the speed in the final straightaway. Or now. No, he holds back. Yeah, because the road's not wide enough to pass. Bubbles will win the race by many seconds, by almost 7, in fact. It was very close between these two. Danny will come in 4th. Number 1 defends 6th position. And Buttercup will gain 3 points. To Burns' 12, though. So it's a 23-point difference between Burn and Buttercup, meaning if you get the top 5, Buttercup is out of here. Basically. Blossom and Bubbles still very much in... You're contesting it, though. So it's not a runaway win for Burn just yet. Nose itchy. Ow. This allowing time feels a little bit lengthy, to say the least. Okay. Okay. I had no idea what my mom is doing upstairs. Headlights! The starting grid for the penultimate race of Universe Zero. Well, the advantage that Bubbles was starting to pick up in the last race is now gone. It's up to Blossom to try and remain ahead of Burn, and on this track with many a long straightaway for him to flex his Italian-based muscles, that is not going to be easy at all. Buttercup can try and do the same, but as long as he even finishes where he starts, Buttercup's championship run is over. I am not at all in this grid spot. Game, what are you doing? That's not even close. Well, if that's the goal Blossom has, that's not how you complete it. And Burns is gonna actually almost get to the lead off of the first 2 corners. Buttercup's really only big hope here is either hope her car has enough speed or use Burns' aggression against him. Which isn't terribly hard to do normally, but Buttercup is also very, very aggressive. So I think it's probably in Blossom's home. It's probably in Blossom's court right now. What does she do? Take advantage of Buttercup's aggressive defense and Burns' defensive offense. Can't you do anything at all, for that matter? Ominous fog rolls in the very early morning here in not Scotland. Well, no, it just blatantly is Scotland. I don't know why I'm saying it's a ripoff of Scotland. It is Scotland. Right now, very much a dead heat, and no one else really anywhere nearby to interfere. The two hedgehogs are kind of in tow. How's Bubbles doing? Well, her car could be doing better. Bumper's taking some damage as Vert saw ahead. Vert slammed into the barrier. Not helping him any. Alex going across many lanes. Suspension damage as usual from him. He's also very aggressive around these tracks, and that usually doesn't help his odds more than any less than you'd think it would. Not terrible top speed from this Lotus, but it really takes a while to get there, and wow, how'd you keep that working, XT3? The line that you tried there. Now they both have almost identical car damage. It was separated down the straightaway, but these three are starting to close up again. Burn much closer to Buttercup than Blossom is to Burn. Bubbles also with some big damage. Very slight suspension damage, but it is there. Kind of left with nowhere to go, as XT3 and Vert have a measuring contest. Blossom's car doesn't have the power to pass Burn in its own right. The only thing she can rely on is Buttercup to inconvenience him and give her an opening to take the place. A lot of the cars towards the back have taken massive damage, or relatively speaking, massive damage. One can only guess what kind of backwards angle Alex has the wheel at right now. Well, it's not that awful. It's not that unorthodox of an angle. It doesn't seem that weird until you realize that he does have an angle. It's just not a very unusual one. Bubbles would be wise to strike while the iron is hot, and XT3 is not fighting Bert anymore, and just take it now. Yeah, like that. That's how you do it. Or just don't hit this barrier, which is kind of crucial. As that is where that famously started having problems in a very much earlier act. Blossom losing the plot, but Burn following every word. Buttercup probably shaking her track shoes right now. And yes, I say track shoes because in Fusion Fall she wears track shoes, not Mary Jane's. So 195 down the big straight area. Straight area. Straight away, Raker. Come on now. Alex and Shadow. Very touch and go. Vert and I and Bubbles are going at it as well. Bubbles will seize that opportunity and gain many more places, up to 7th, but that alone I don't think will save her necessarily. And Blossom falling back too far to really, for me to really say that it's possible for her to pass Burn at any given point here. I don't think Burn can really do anything about Buttercup either, necessarily, and that's also probably also part of the problem. That he isn't going to, or even try. And the trying is more so what Blossom needs, because him trying will slow them both down and bring her back up to them. Very aggressive move, probably shook Shadow a little bit. Is that car just damaged, or is he just that slow? No, it's just that he's slow. This track does not suit this car at all. Danny's car is just trashed. I don't know what people have been doing to these cars around this track, but they never look pretty afterwards. I don't understand why the AI have such a problem racing each other here cleanly without smacking into barriers. They don't have a problem doing it, they just don't do it very gracefully, as it were. Big speed down the long main drag here. Okay, yeah, this I thought was the really interesting track, but it is proving to not be as such, so hopefully Black Cat County can better provide, because this track certainly hasn't. Alex, despite noticeable suspension damage, will move his way into 4th, and most likely remain there. Bubbles, I think, is too far away from there to pass either of those cars. albeit by a relatively small margin, and also for literally no reason other than to say that she did. Buttercup will win here at the Highlands in foggy conditions. However, Burns' second place will basically render her out of the championship battle for the last round. I believe the gap now would be 6 or 8 points between somewhere between 6 and 9 points between Burn and Blossom. Which, given how consistently well Burns finished, that's quite a deficit to make up. And Bubbles comes in a, well, given where she started, impressive 6th position, but I don't know if that's really enough to keep her relevant in the championship at all. Captain Falcon with big damage. What the heck happened to you? We shall never know, I suppose, because it happened more than 3 minutes ago, so it should be the end of the race, right? Oh no, these two haven't finished yet, have they? Good thing I checked, because we would have to have done the race again, and that would have been very frustrating. A broken, battered, and scarred Falcon crosses the line in last, and now we have the final round of Universe Zero, right here at Black Cat County. Driving through the middle of nowhere, saying hi to Kurt, the cowardly dog, on the way around for 3 more times. It is 6 points of a gap between Burn and Blossom. It's still very much winnable, but it would take a miracle for Bubbles, because it would mean Burn doesn't score anything. No one else can win. Buttercup cannot go for 3rd. Alex does remain the most consistently successful universe driver. I would probably say, because I know he has at least 2 championships, probably a 3rd. Because he won with the F40, he won with the FXXK, and he probably won something else I'm forgetting. His team won the couples racing in Act 6. Though, technically, Captain Falcon did win that championship, but only because his car was vastly superior to the rest. Do not want light fog, we want sundown at 6 in the evening, because that's as late as it can get, unfortunately. And it begins the final race of Universe Zero. Time spent with this series is never wasted. That is basically a lie. There's definitely been a few wasted races in here. And again, like I said, I'm not done. And now that I'm kind of talking more, ironically, the throat sore has gotten less of a problem. I may record the retrospective after this and just get it completely done and over with. I might. I don't know. We will see how I feel in 20 minutes. Because I will have to use the bathroom after I finish recording here. Not that that was a necessary detail, but, you know. I digress. Shall wait for the game to load this momentous event. Headlights. No headlights.